Jesus freak here. Woke up, checked my YouTube comments because I got a whole bunch of notifications all at once, and decided I had to do this right away. I've noticed that in Christianity, there tend to be two related, opposing, but related, false beliefs. One of them has been circulating around for almost 2,000 years. The other, I think, has only been going around for a couple hundred. The one is the idea that being a Jew completely bars you from heaven. The other is the idea that Jews can get saved through the law, separate from how everyone else has to be saved through Christ. The first is antisemitism, and the second is dual covenantism. Both of them are wrong. Both of them are heretical. So, here's the thing. And there's a couple different citations I'm going to lean on here. The most important, and ironically, a friend just mentioned this verse to me, even though he has no idea what the significance is or what it even says, because he saw a sign that had the citation on it. But this is John 14:6. When Thomas asks how do we know the way to the Father, he says, I am the way, and the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father but by me. That's the main verse I use against dual covenantism. Now, it's going to be a little more complex to deal with the other problem, but there's, this is a very old problem. Going back to the earliest days of the church. And they'll always point to Matthew 27, 24, and 25. When Pilate saw that he could prevail nothing, but that rather a tumult was made, he took water and washed his hands before the multitude. This is where this saying, I wash my hands of it, comes from. Saying, I am innocent of the blood of this just person. See to it. Then answered all the people and said, His blood be on us and our children. And that's often used to justify anti-Semitic attacks. Trying to keep Angel from video bombing me. Now, I'm going to point to Let me find the exact place. It's in Romans here somewhere. Romans 11, and I'm going to go through parts of it. Starting from verse 17. Adjust my camera a little bit. Shed some light on this subject. And if some of the branches be broken off, and thou being a wild olive tree wert grafted in among them, and with them partakest of the root and fatness of the olive tree, boast not against the branches. But if thou boast, thou bearest not the root, but the root thee. Here, the tree is Israel. The natural branches are the genetic Israelites, some of which have been pruned off, and the grafted branches are the Gentiles. They'll say then, the branches were broken off that I might be grafted in. Well, because of unbelief they were broken off, and thou standest by faith. Be not high-minded, but fear, for if God spared not the natural branches, take heed, lest he also spare not thee. Behold therefore the goodness and severity of God. On them which fell severity, but toward thee goodness, if thou continue in his goodness. Otherwise thou also shalt be cut off. And I can point to this against Osas, And they also, if they abide not still in unbelief, shall be grafted in. For God is able to graft them in again. And that against antisemitism. If they convert, they can be saved the same way as anyone else. I continue. For if thou wert cut out of the olive tree which is wild by nature, and wert grafted contrary to nature into a good olive tree, how much more shall these which be the natural branches be grafted into their own olive tree? For I would not, brethren, that you should be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own conceits, that blindness in part, is happened to Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. And so all Israel shall be saved, that it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob. For this is my covenant unto them, when I shall take away their sins. And I'll generally point to a bunch of things, both from Jesus and from Paul, to point out, like he says, no difference between Jew and Greek. Well, Greek is synecdoche for Gentile, and you see that used sometimes in the New Testament. I'll point again. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Not I am a way, a truth, and a life. There's only one way. But being Jewish doesn't make you any more or less entitled to that than anyone else. since before God, we're all equal, we're all fallen, and we'll all be judged the same way. Jesus freak out.